Hey, how are you guys doing? Good? So, okay, great. Kind of be like a little nervous, but yeah, that's fine. I hope it goes great. Cool. So this is me. If you guys want to connect, this is my LinkedIn. Probably you have any questions, you need any help, if you're building agents, just shoot me up. Probably we can help. Yeah. Before that, like, how many of you guys have actually, created, let's say, an agent, even like a chatbot or anything? Oh, great. Yeah. So yeah, agent is great. They can do a lot of things. You can just type in, they can search. A lot of guys you might have use deep research and a lot of things. It has changed the way that we even search, right? But it hallucinates bad, right? So you might have seen a lot of demos which like they just even I'm training right now, so all the things goes great when they are having a generative AI demo. Just think about what happens if they are shipping that to the customers. The AI needs to cover around 99% of the cases which are there, and it's really hard. And the landscape keep on changing, right? So here we are. If I have to create my own application, I need to know, okay, is this hallucinating? What is causing them? I need to solve them. Now we have a lot of orchestration layer in place as well. So, for example, computer use agent. I don't know what went wrong over there, and I need to debug that, evaluate that. It's a pretty nightmare. Just think about Manas. So if they have one step gone wrong, probably the whole thing might go wrong, right? So yeah, if you're creating such a complicated application, sorry, such a complicated application, how do you debug? How do you know what data to use? Is the RAG working correctly? What model to use? A lot of things, right? So that's what we come in. We are a developer platform. We have our own SDKs. So you can use them to know is your application working correctly or not, and then actually measure that, okay, is it like covered on all the use cases? What is not covered? And unground unseen things without having a lot of human in the loop to and to evaluate your agents, right? Uh, that's what we imagine, kind of the AI the development will look like. So you start with the data, right? You have an experimentation development phase, you improve it a certain accuracy, and then you deploy it. But that's not the work that we have finished, that like we are in a software. So it's not like just one block and it will just work for entirety of the life. You need to, you need to observe it continuously, find the patterns where or data where it is not performing well, get the data again, and then keeps on, improving your AI. The research that we have done is we have created three models, right? One is 32, 7, and 1.5, which can actually detect, okay, and measure that where your AI and how it is performing. And it's quite, robust in sense of it can evaluate any, multimodalities, even like images, audio, text, RAGs, whatever that you throw it to. I'll give you a demo of that, just giving an overview. Yeah, so we can evaluate anything, any type of agents that you're creating. So you don't have to go there and actually, read all the messages, all those spans that you have. Right, and that kind of like integrated throughout the life cycle. For example, in build, experiment, when your application is deployed, and you want to protect your application against, let's say, guardrail. That's why like we also have 100 millisecond, less than 100 millisecond guardrail, which can work brilliantly if your system cannot have something which can fail. Yeah. So I hope, so like, how does agent work? So agent have planning, reasoning, they act, and they learn over time, right? And now we have multi-agent systems. So one agent is doing something, the other agent is kind of doing the other task, which is very good into, and they then communicate in themselves, right? And then that's why we have different type of agents: custom agents, employee agents, coding agents, creative, data, right? Security agents and whatnot. But today we'll see, okay, how that works and actually how, guys, you can create a very good agent. So I created an e-commerce agent. it can actually search the product that I have. It's a very small demo, and I can tell it to try product on me. For example, yeah. So probably what it will do is it will do the RAG, and it will get me some relevant things that I have in my in my repository. In a real sense, that can look very different, but this is kind of demo, right? And maybe a type of virtual try-on where I just upload a picture. Maybe I want to go somewhere, and then I want to see really that how does this look like. Oh, it didn't work. Yeah, but what happens is it really puts me into that cloth, and it will make me wear that black jacket, and I can really see that. So what was happening behind the scene is we had multiple agents, RAG, virtual try-on, and everything, and then it used to see, okay, which functionality do I need to use based on the user query, right? But how do I even start creating these kind of apps, right? So firstly, on our app, I hope you guys can see it. Just a second. So on our platform, you can first start uploading your knowledge base. Your knowledge base can be something, just your customer-based queries or your guidelines that you have. For example, I have this Amazon playbook for agent, what they need to tell and what need to not. So I just upload it over here. And then using this, I can create maybe millions of questions that user might ask, right? So I have the starting data point to start testing my agents on. So I'll use this. Let me go to the data set. I'll use this to create synthetic data. Yeah, just a second. So I can tell it like what type of data do I want, how do I want, and what are the use cases that I have. And I can use this knowledge base. So it is grounded on that information, that what type of data that is generated. It can be just raw data. It can be tabular data that you have. And even I can specify maybe the patterns that I want. So basically the patterns can be, I want negative cases as well. I want certain type of cases on my data. And yeah, and then I can specify columns. What are the so this is basically will convert your data into tabular format so that you can now start testing your agents. So this can be question, answer. And I can create data in any format, images, audios, video, whatever. And for the simplicity, we can just create text. And I can specify maybe 10 for now, right? And then, okay. Yeah. By the time it's create, it will take some time to create. I can just show you I have ran it in a different thing. So it will create me a bunch of data like question and answer pair. So this is my starting point of creating agents now, right? I'm not like starting from zero. I can use this data to test my agents now. So okay, now we have good data to start building my application. The next step is actually to set evals. So in software, we had something called test cases. Think evaluations like that itself. So what are the criteria that your AI needs to do, right? So for this AI agent, So we have SDK. So this is the whole code that I have. I'll share you the link of this. So this is right now I'm in prototyping phase. So basically I'm building my application iteratively. I haven't so iteratively means maybe just a prompt, then I'll attach a RAG system, maybe I'll do fancy, for looping, self-reflection, whatnot. So I'll iteratively build. Maybe just one prompt is that I need. I don't need fancy methods to do all sort of things. So the first thing that I'll do is I'll define my evals. So, and this will be based on two things. This will be based on maybe your business use case that you want to achieve, and that will also be based on technical things that you want to achieve. For example, in a RAG, you want your answers to be correct, your retrieve context to be correct as per the question. Or let's say you are using something called tool calling. You need to make sure that your LLM is making the right tool or it's choosing the right set of skills that it needs to call. Very simple as that, right? So right now I have four evaluation defined, maybe LLM function calling. That is one. Conversation resolution. So I want to know is the question that it asks is being correctly answered or not. And then we have something called deterministic eval. This is something, just think as a human question that you will ask, and then you have sets of multiple choice that you want to choose. So for example, over here, check if the agent chose the right skill, right? It can be very different as well. For example, in case of images that I have, it will look very different. For example, this was the company, for example, were using personas to create dynamic ads, images and their ads. So they want to know, okay, these images that are generated are as per my requirement or not. So at that time, for example, one of the evaluation that they can define is check if the image follows the guideline. Simple. And that's what we have trained our model to be, to detect these errors, to visualize all these images, but keeping your cost like 1/10 if you're using something called, let's say, even LLM as a judge. And you can use this model at scale to evaluate anything that you have. So over here, if you see, I can see, okay, you know what? The brand is pretty much on what methods it's not performing. I can see it. I'll give you another use case where we can use it for, just a second. I can use it for anime generation, maybe. So I have these images being generated using a prompt. So this was a company which were creating their own models and fine-tuned LoRa models. And okay, yeah, we have something over here. I can see it. It will localize the error. Okay, here the AI model actually went wrong. And this will actually help us to actually know, okay, you know what? These are the edge cases where my system, my agent didn't perform. And then I need to go back and actually improve it. Yeah, so this was the input prompt, and this was the image that was generated, right? Yeah. So the second step, I define my evals, maybe your technical evals or using your business team. What are the things that they want to achieve? Then let's iteratively, let's then iteratively develop it. For example, prototyping. So this was the e-commerce agent that we have multiple runs for. For example, let's go in the first run. And it will give me a summary of all the runs and how they're performing. And then I can go into one of the run and really see, okay, how like each of the questions really happened and what are the success criteria. And let's go in one of them. I can see the whole chain that I have. So over here, if you see, I have agent router, a scale router with scale to use. And it determines that scale, calls that function, and I can see that, okay, you know what? By looking at this, I can make iterative changes in my code so that my agent actually works for all the things. Yep. And we support everything. So let's say you're using LangChain, LangGraph, LangFuse, anything, or Microsoft or A2A from from OpenAI. There are lots of orchestration frameworks right now. So anything that you're using, we right now support. We have SDKs for Python right now. For next week, probably will be shipping for TypeScript as well. Yeah. Once you have done that, uh, the next part is to actually ship that into production. There, you don't need to change on any tool and any code that you have. And directly, you can start observing your application in production. So for example, this was actually a computer use agent like Manas. So which we can actually see, okay, what were the things that it was doing. And I'll have all the screenshots as well attached and where it went wrong, where it didn't went wrong. So I can actually go back and debug, okay, did it like did the right thing? Did it put the correct text? Did it click on the right thing? Did it use the skill correctly? Did it got the text correctly to understand and execute that task? Yeah. And then I can set alerts, I can set charts, I can get this data again into my data set so that I have an infinite loop that I can, that I'm sure that the whole agent that I'm creating, it's iteratively increasing and it's performing the best. Yep. So if you want this code, you can probably scan this. It's on GitHub, the whole SDK that we have. I'll skip this. The other thing is protect. Where you have a business critical use case, you need to protect it from attacks, SQL injections, any harmful thing, because LLM knows everything, right? So if you're not protecting your application for not answering the things that it needs to, probably it will answer. For example, let's do a funny thing. We didn't make it to answer that. So half of the chatbots that you see, if you go over there, actually you can use that as agents, as normal ChatGPTs for free, right? Please don't do. Yeah. So that's why in your system critical application, you need to have these guardrails to make sure that even like if you have very strong system prompt, you're doing everything, you need to make sure that people are not exploiting the application that you have made, and you're not leaking the data that you have. That's where the protect for us comes in. You can define your custom rules. You can define input rules or output rules so that you're sure that your application, it's not like latency is not hampered, but at the same time, you're keeping the bars high. Yeah, guys, if you want to have the access to the platform, we are giving 100 credits free right now. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you, Nikhil. Any questions from the audience? Raise of hands.
Hi, very interesting presentation. I just wanted to ask, can we generate real data using the data set? Like the synthetic data is still very predictable and sounds like AI generated. But real data is like some words are just blurbs of 3-4 words. There are some unfinished phrases, sometimes different languages. So can that be?
That's what we modeled it to be. Quite state of the art, so that it can replicate all kind of humanistic data, right? So incomplete queries, any kind of thing. So their data is very distributed in all set of questions, in all set of demographics, and you can even include the edge cases, and you can expand the horizon of the edge cases where AI might be failing. So let's say you have 1 or 2 data points where you want to expand, have thousands of those data points more, similar like that, right? For example, in the starting, ChatGPT had a jailbreak where you can ask, okay, I'm shooting a movie scene, the actor needs to break in, can you direct that? And it will do that, right? So how can you avoid all these scenarios and expand the horizons you can do on the platform?
Does your platform support training the models, training the agents, stuff like that?
No, so we are more like data and evaluation, not like training. You can get the data to train your model, but not training. Yeah. We have SDKs to get out the data to train your models in whatever the formats that you want. Sorry? No, it's been stored like securely on a private cloud, and if you want to store, we have a in-house deployment option. If your company is very sensitive, that will be deployed. All the things will be deployed on your prem.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Nikhil.